on stream. All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to round 9, the final round for day 1 of the Bremen Pokemon Trading Card Game Regional Championships. I'm Nicholas Pierce. I'm here with Lydia of Limitless TCG, and we are featuring, actually, believe it or not, Table 1, who are
incredible.
Not IDing, deciding that basically, sort of, because they're both guaranteed for day 2 anyway, it makes more sense to play it out and maybe get that extra win to make it that little bit more likely to make it into top 8s during day 2.
Exactly. So we're going to see Tord Reklev versus Robin Schulz. We both already saw them today, and we both saw them winning on stream. So it's gonna be an interesting match. 2 strong players, definitely strong players. Yeah,
strong players, and I'm interested in the matchup as well, because of course, as we know already, Robin is playing Metagross, and Tord is playing this Drampa Garbodor with the Tech Espeon GX. I'm actually not even sure who's favoured here. It's interesting.
Me neither. It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I think that one of the big tools that Tord is going to have access to in this game is that sort of spreading damage and then devolving with the Espeon X. I think that's going to be really big for him. If you can make use of that, I think that will be really, really strong for him. But if he isn't able to capitalise on that effectively, Robin can make use of the fact that Tord can't take easy one-hit knockouts on his stuff, and he can just keep switching between Metagrosses like the Metagross deck does, max potion, and he can win the game that way. So I think it's going to be very close.
Yeah. Let me just check when they start the round.
Yeah, we're going to coordinate it so that the things are going to start off properly.
Okay, they're just flipping a
flipping
dice.
Oh, okay.
To see who goes first. So they haven't finished their setup yet.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So the guys asking about win and ins, it's basically, like I said, we're in a bit of a rush because we were going to feature another game, then one of the people refused to be on stream, so it didn't work out. So we got another game in a rush, and we saw that Table 1 wasn't IDing, so we just took it essentially.
Yeah, the problem was that all the other tables who would have been when it ends already did their setup, and of course it is not okay that they put the cards back, and judges said it would be too complicated, and luckily these 2 guys hadn't done their setup yet, so it was no problem to move them to another table.
No, and that is why we ended up going with them. And of course, I mean, how often do you actually get to stream Table 1 for round 9 of a regional?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, not very often. In terms of the starts, Robin's starting with a Giratina promo, not ideal, but at the same time, like we mentioned before, with this deck, Metagross, it can actually attack with it, so not perhaps as bad as it would be to start with in other decks where it's not a useful card.
Yeah, that's true.
And Tord is going to go first here. He's going to play an Ultra Ball. Discarding double colorless, not ideal, but looks like he is going to grab himself that Tapu Lele, and assuming the Bridget is not prized, which is it? Oh, it might be actually.
Yeah, he's looking for quite a long time.
Yeah.
So he might actually not take a Tapu Lele from his Ultra Ball, but something else. Oh, Bridget is in his deck.
Okay, there you go. It was hiding. So, yeah, there you go. Grabbing the Bridget, and obviously just taking a look through instead, just to make sure that he knows what's in his prizes. And he's going to grab himself, likely to be Drampa and a couple of Trebuchets, I'd imagine here. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Exactly this. Taking one last look through just to make sure that he knows what's in there. It's a really key skill, especially at a high level, something that I fall prey to myself sometimes because I want to play quickly. But even if you don't have an exact idea of what your 6 prizes are, just having a general idea of, right, I've got my count of this is lower than it should be, and my count of this is lower than it should be, or if you have key 1 of text prize, it's important to check for these things.
Yeah, especially in a Garbodor deck, you will look for your Garbodors, for your rainbow energies, and
all these important pieces. Potown as well, I can see him just play there. And a really decent start from Tord, actually, as we see he's actually... Oh, wait. He did a big wheel?
Yep.
Did that mean Robin drew pass for his turn? It must be.
Yeah.
Because he attacked...
Did Robin start?
He must have done, because otherwise Tord couldn't big wheel.
Oh, that's true.
But...
Oh,
that is awful. That means that all Tord needs is for Robin to not draw a good card for his turn. What did he draw?
Tord isn't even looking at his hand cards. Oh, now he is.
Yeah, okay. Robin draws a Beldum. It's better than nothing, but that is...
Still not good.
No. And
looks like he has 3 choice band on his hand.
Yeah. Attached to the choice band. Field blower on the Potown. Okay, that's kind of helpful. Oh, okay. That's the problem. He had a Sycamore last turn, but he wanted to wait a turn to see if he could avoid playing it because he had to discard 2 rare candies.
Yeah, maybe he was also no, that makes no sense. I wanted to say maybe he was hoping for Metagross, but he had no Beldum on his bench.
Yeah. So I think as soon as he saw the Beldum, he thought, right, at least I can put this down, put a choice band on it, so I'm not losing absolutely everything. But not a great start from Robin at all.
Definitely not. He's losing a lot of resources there.
Yeah, and of course, unlike it comes about.
He already passed again, so.
Yeah, you just have to attaching one energy and. Oh my god, it goes onto the Beldum and that's it! The game is over! What is with these quick games, Lydia? They keep happening!
I don't know. We kind of have bad karma, I guess.
Lydia. It's the wrong one. I guess you just think, the person who sort of skips that was just no, it's cool. Yeah, Tor takes a very quick game 1 and we're into game 2 straight away. There's that Guzma sealing Leo Robin thinking, nope, if I can't get Metagross out next turn, the game is definitely over, especially with the amount of stuff I just lost. Right, so I mean, this all seems like an obvious question, but what does Robin need to do to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Well, he needs to draw a supporter, I guess. Yes. If Robin has access to a Bridget on his first turn and doesn't end up without any kind of draw support, he should be fine. But unfortunately, he had neither, so... Yeah,
just really, really unfortunate for turn for Robin there. And I don't know about you, Lydia, but it seems like this happens more to the Metagross deck than you think it would. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just happened twice to Chriso, and now here again with Robin. It's just like, even though he was able to get one Beldum out, but then Tor just had the Guzma to take it out. It's just like...
I think the problem is that you have a lot of cards you really need to play. You need to play this Metagross line, and you want to play a big line to make it consistent. You need to play the rare candies. You need to play the 4 max potions, because that's what makes the deck so good. You also need to play at least 3 field blowers. 4 is even better. So there are a lot of cards you really don't want to put out of your list, and that makes the supporter line, I don't want to say thin, but maybe not that thick.
Yeah, I think that the key thing is that you have a lot of cards where if you draw them in the wrong order, it's really bad. That's really what it comes down to. So you need to see the things in the right order to be able to do it, to be able to set it up properly. And that's something that all stage 2 decks suffer a little bit from. And that is their natural drawback, because of course the trade-off in power is that they're a lot stronger than their basic counterparts if you can set them up properly. But you need to set them up. So that's the sort of trade-off that you get with, the deck is inherently more inconsistent. You can get these really bad sort of brick starts, but once you get going, you're in a really good shot.
But actually, it can't be too inconsistent, because Robin is at 701.
He is, indeed.
Still undefeated.
Yeah, so it goes to show that you can build the list in a way where you can sort of overcome this sort of bad luck factor as much as possible. But even then, sometimes you just can't help but get a bad start. It's just, in fact,
it just happens.
If you never get a bad start with a sort of stage 2 deck, it's always kind of strange. You know what I mean? Because it's just statistically extremely unlikely. And it looks like Robin's start is already going to be a lot better. We see that he drew, was that another Beldum or a Matang? I'm not sure. Oh, he had the Bridget. Yeah. Okay, so already miles better than his last
Definitely, one. He's going for an Alolan Vulpix, I think, so he can start attacking with Beacon and getting his evolutions out of the deck. So
so it looks like Beldum, 2 Beldums and Alolan Vulpix off of that Bridget. So Robin has the potential to get out 3 Metagrosses already. If he gets it down a 4th Beldum, he could even get 4 out, which would be even better. But
And Robin was also very lucky to have the Bridget on his hand. He does not need to waste a Tapu Lele, does not need to waste the Wonder Tag, and he also has no Lele on the bench. Lele is always an easy 2 price KO. Yeah, compared to Metagross.
Which has 250 HP. Especially important against Tord, actually, because of course he's playing this Drampa Garbodor deck, and one of the things it's known for is, well, not this actually. I was going to say it's known for doing 180 consistently, but it's not known for bricking and only doing 40 of an energy drive. What is going on?
Seems like but Robin is playing an N.
I think it might have been one of those situations where even though Tord has got nothing, Robin doesn't have a choice, because maybe he doesn't have another supporter, maybe he has too much he wants to discard.
Robin somehow needs to get his setup This is something Todd does not rely on as much as Robin does.
Yeah.
So Robin somehow needs to get the cards. He needs to set up. He needs some energy. He needs some evolutions. He needs some Ultra Balls.
Yeah, and then it's definitely would be a case of either he didn't have a Sycamore, or if he did, he just didn't want to discard all the stuff that he would have had to discard off the Sycamore if he played it. So with that, he does see an energy. That's really good, and a rare candy as well. But does he have the Metagross? He does have.
He has
one. No.
No, that's a Lily, I guess.
Oh no, but at the back of his hand, I think I see one. Yeah, that's a Metagross in his hand.
Okay.
So yeah,
Perfect.
so you can attach that and then not retreat.
He's leaving the energy. Oh.
Maybe he wants to. Okay, I think he's doing that first because he wants to rare candy that Beldum specifically. Oh no, he doesn't. Okay, he was just thinking about that first.
Actually, it didn't matter in which order he does it.
Yeah, but either way, paying the 1 energy to retreat off the Beldum. Gonna use then retreat into the Alolan Vulpix and use Beacon. Gonna be able to get himself a Metang and a Metagross. Why is Tord reading the Vulpix? Is it German? Oh, okay, yeah. Again, it's like we were saying before. Normally when someone reads a card, you think, "What? Do you not know what it does?" But of course, it's cool to see what the attack and the Pokemon names are in the different languages.
It's always funny. You can try to pronounce them.
Yeah. I was counting to 100 earlier in German. I've been to quite a few tournaments in Germany now. I have friends with quite a few German players. I've been picking it up slowly, but it's a very hard language.
Actually, Nick is learning very fast.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you to say.
He can count to 100 now, and next tournament I expect him to count to up to 1,000.
Yeah. And I kind of already know how to get there, but it's just actually thinking about it all through. It's like it's a bit hard. Although, as I would say, counting is easier in German than it is in French. I would say that because 420s for 80. Only in France. Anyway, back to the game. So Tord gonna bench a Lele, gonna grab himself an N off of that, and again gonna have a look through, see what's available to him or what isn't from his prizes, and then. Yeah, I think he's gonna. Oh, he has 2 Ultra Balls in his hand as well, so he might actually opt to play at least one of those before he goes for this end, just maybe to get maybe a Trubbish or a Drampa down.
He plays Ultra Ball, thinking about discarding the second Ultra Ball.
Yeah, I think his discard choices aren't brilliant, but I think out of what he has, I think that's where he has to go for it. Looks like is that a Lele and it's like the second Ultra Ball. So what's he gonna grab off of this?
But if he's going to play the Sycamore anyway, it doesn't really matter what he's going to discard.
He's eyeing up the Espeon already. That's very interesting, actually. So,
definitely.
Actually, I say it's interesting, but this makes a lot of sense because if he does this, then Robin will lose the Metagross, which is rare candies. I'll go back to Beldum, and the Metang will go back to Beldum. So it actually, one of 2 things will happen: either Robin won't hit the Metagross again, or he will, but he has to do it via a rare candy. Yeah. At which point he could then use Miraculous Shine again, and then at that point Robin's really far behind.
That's true.
It's very, very clever actually. And especially he's got the Psychic Energy on the Espeon down already, so yeah, he will be able to go for this early Miraculous Shine. This is a strategy you can do. Sometimes most people think of Miraculous Shine, they think, do a bunch of damage to stuff, and then bring everything up, devolve, and then take knockouts. But against these Stage 2 decks, this is equally as viable a strategy, especially if they've gone a red candy route. You just keep devolving.
Yeah, that's very distracting.
Yeah. Is it distracting or disrupting?
Disrupting.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought I said something. I wanted to make sure. See what Tord got off the end there. Looks to be another Ultra Ball. He's handling his cards in a way which says, I'm going to discard something. Yeah, he's got another Ultra Ball. That's really good. So he can get a Trubbish down or a Drampa and starts to set up something else to follow up with.
So Tord's playing another Ultra Ball.
Yeah.
Discarding.
It's to be a Rescue Stretcher and a Guzma, I think.
Okay.
And the down goes the Trubbish, so that's really good for him. It's more, if he's not going to use it straight away, it's more important for him to get the Trubbish down than the Drampa, because if the Trubbish is down for a turn, it can then evolve into either one of the Garbodors, and Garbotoxin is really, really strong against Metagross as well. That's another big factor, it's why so many of the Metagross lists have been playing 3 or even 4 Field Blowers, because they need to have access to their abilities every turn.
Yeah, they need them in order to
play the game,
play next potion and all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Retreat and
So here we go with Tord playing now the Potown as well. That's even stronger. So now Robin is going to be, if he does choose to evolve, he's going to take the damage as well.
Yeah.
And now, what does Robin really do? He's got a Sycamore, but he doesn't really want to play it. Looks like he has access to an N as well. That's better. But, yeah. Oh, he's got the Field Blower too, so that's...
But he just... Oh, he's playing it now.
Yeah. I think he feels like he has enough of them that he can afford to do this one now, especially because he avoids damage to the Potown. He feels that's a worthwhile use of the Field Blower still.
And if he evolves the bottom with damage on it, it has enough damage so it gets KO'd by Espeon if the Potown is still in play.
Yeah. But again, though, Lydia, look at what's happened right now. He's evolved into Metang and then evolved again into Metagross or Rare Candy. But there's no way he's going to be able to get a knockout on this Espeon, as far as I can tell. Like, he needs
an energy from his hand and Rare Candy, Metagross. But he has no energy in his discard pile. Only one. So, yeah, that's a lot he needs.
I actually think because he needs to retreat the Vulpix as well.
Oh.
So I'm actually not sure if he can do it.
That's true.
And he didn't even see the Metagross, he just sees a ton of energy. Yeah, Tord, all he does next turn is just do Miraculous Shine again, and then Robin is right back where he started.
Yep.
And
exactly.
And this is why the strategy is so effective, because you can just keep doing it. You know, you can just Miraculous Shine again and again. Eventually, they'll run out of Rare Candy. And then if they try to evolve manually, you can just devolve that and they can just never hit Metagross.
I think this is something Robin also has realized, but there's just no point in scooping or giving up, because that would lose him the match. Yeah,
he's gonna try his best, but I think he realizes he's on the ropes. Gonna use the beacon, grab himself a Lele and possibly a Metagross or he has to go for Metang or Beldum because he just needs to get more stuff out. Hand not really cooperating with him.
Definitely no good 2 games. What would you say about the matchup in general?
Well, I mean, if you approach it like this, I think actually it's really favourable for Tord. It's an option I hadn't even considered, because obviously I thought, you can devolve stuff and you can spread damage and KO things, but forgetting that you can just literally just go for the Miraculous Shine straight away and even stop Robin from being able to use his Metagrosses. It's actually absurdly strong, because without those, he really struggles to KO the Espeon in the first place.
It's actually pretty nice to see Espeon played this way, because so far we have only seen it play with Decidueye, where you already have a lot of damage on the field and you use Espeon to draw your prizes.
Yeah, absolutely. And another N from Tord. What I was going to say as well, it's funny with Espeon EX, even though people know how good it is and people still play it, I still feel like it's an underrated card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, what is Metagross doing at something like this? It's actually... You know what Robin might actually need to do? How much... Does the Giratina promo, does it attack for 3 or 4 energy? I think it's 4.
I think it's 3.
We get to look that up, because his best shot might just be bench the Giratina promo, attach energy manually to it, and KO the Espeon, because it's weak to Psychic.
But it would take a lot of time to build it up.
Yeah.
And he has no energy in his discard right now.
No.
So it's still a lot to ask for.
It is. Also, I guess the one thing about going for Miraculous Shine constantly is that eventually, especially if Tord draws more cards, I mean, you can't just... how to say this? Eventually, Robin will be able to mount some kind of attack, or Tord needs to take prizes to win. Yeah. So, it isn't. Although it's a really disruptive early game strategy, and it gives Tord the time to set up and win from there. He can't just do it the whole game, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's just really good for now, because it buys him all the time in the world essentially. But
the thing is, usually you're not playing that many stage 1s as you are playing stage 2s, because you already think that you will evolve some basics directly through Rare Candy.
Yeah.
So if Robin wastes all his Rare Candy, he won't be able to get all his Metagross out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And this is something else Robin can do. He can start charging over Tapu Lele, and then slowly but surely start attacking the Espeon with the Lele, because then it will eventually force Tord to retreat. That is another option he has. But for now, just going for the beacon again. Looks like he's going to grab himself a Tang. Just a bit.
One.
Oh, wow.
Looks like he only found one.
That's very unfortunate for him.
Definitely.
Yeah. Now, maybe at this point, this is the turn you switch over, because Robin only has one Metang out.
That means he's only able to get 2 Metagross out.
Yeah, because he would need the rare candy and the Metagross and another Metagross, and he's already been through 2 rare candy, as we've seen. Did he play 3 or 4 rare candy? Do you know, Robin?
I think he's playing 4, but it could be that one is in his prize cards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all know how the Schulz deck building algorithm is like. Normally, just eventually it's just route of 4 of all the cards, like we saw with that Darkrai list.
That's why he was struggling so hard to fit the Giratina in, because everything was 4 times.
Yeah.
But there's no town map in there, so it's not a classic Schulz.
I don't know. Whenever I think of town map, I think that's more of a Philip thing. I know.
Yeah, it is more a Philip thing.
Yeah, like Robin, haven't seen him play as much, and Tord disagreeing with us, he's decided just to go for the Miraculous Shine again. But you see, this is the thing now. Here we go with the second energy on the Tapu Lele. So now, if Robin wanted to, he could retreat, bring up the Tapu Lele, and do Energy Drive for 60. And so Tord will only be able to do Miraculous Shine for 2 more turns before the Espeon is knocked out. And that's not really great.
Definitely not. Let's have a look at Tord's bench. He hasn't really gotten a lot. He has 2 Trubbish and 2 Tapu Lele.
No Drampa.
No Drampa, no Garbodor.
No.
That's not too good, actually.
No. I think I realize what's happening here. I think Tord is just waiting to hit his Garbotox and Garbodor, because as soon as he hits that, then he can switch gears to attack with something else, and it doesn't matter because the Metagrosses don't do anything anyway. So essentially what Tord is doing is just keeping those Metagrosses at bay until he makes them useless, even if they're out, which makes sense. He
also forces Robin to play more item cards, so Robin needs to do his setup, and this also increases the damage output of his other Garbodor.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Treasure Lunch one.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like, does Tord see the Garbotox in Garbodor? Yes, he does. So yeah, this is the point where it gets tricky for Robin. 1 Field Blow has already hit a discard pile as well. So I believe that was 1 blow in a discard pile. So he only has. Did he play 4 again? Do you remember, or is it 3?
What did he told us? He cut for the Giratina.
Choice band.
Yeah, then he's playing 4.
Okay, so he's got 3 blows left, and now Tord switches gears. Looks like to be the Tapu Lele with the Float Stone. Just going to do an Energy Drive for 80. Yeah. So now Robin can, of course, evolve the Metagross. You see he does have one in his hand, but it can't do anything now because he needs the blow before he can actually do it. He does have it, it looks like. So that's good. He can blow, discard the tool off the Garbotox and Garbodor, and he will be able to actually use Geotech systems now. Also discarding a Choice Band off of the Trubbish with the energy on it. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Choice Band going on to Robin's own Metagross. So 1 energy in discard pile, but there will be more, of course, because he can.
Because he's retreating.
Yeah,
that's what he's going to do now. Not now, soon.
So Sycamore first. Okay, so I think he's gonna wait until he
sees what options he still has.
Thank you. And now looks like he did see another Ultra Ball. Might have to play that now, although as we kind of assume that he doesn't have another Metang available.
I think he's double checking the amount of items in his discard pile, considering whether he wants to add another item or not.
I think especially if there's no Metang available, then it might be a little bit risky to. He's deciding not to. So here comes the retreat. 2 Geotech systems onto the active Metagross. And with the Choice Band, it actually does KO the Lele.
Finally!
Yeah, able to actually do that. So, and then Robin also attaching a Psychic. So did he not attach an energy this turn? I guess he didn't.
No, he didn't.
No. Okay, so getting the other Metagross ready as well, which is good for him because of course he can only Geotech twice. So it's just sort of good to get that ready. And now it's going to go back to Tord. As you had a quick check of Robin's discard pile just to see what items actually left in there. You're going to actually bring up the Garbotox and Garbodor, so I assume that means he has a Floatstone or a Guzma in hand, because you wouldn't bring that up otherwise.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Maybe he also has another Garbotox and Garbodor, but
who knows. What do you do if you're Tord here? Because this... there's a field blur. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, the choice band can be discarded now. That means the Lele the Lele with the energy on it is safe from a one-hit knockout.
That also adds some more items to Robin's discard pile.
It does indeed. There's the Trash Launch Garbodor as well. That's pretty good. So Tord is looking through to see what he can actually do again. He has there's the Float Stone in hand, so on it goes, and I assume after that we're going to see a Sycamore. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Looks like Tord's deck is pretty thin
already. Yeah, he has managed to burn through a lot of his deck quite quickly. This is, I think at this point, what might be nice for him is to maybe find, I don't know, I was going to say maybe find the Drampa to attack with, but the problem with Drampa is that it does, like Lele, it falls victim to a one-hit KO with a choice band on the Metagross's attacks. So
Robin should start, Tord should start drawing some of his prize cards now, because his deck is already quite thin. And Robin is also finally starting his setup, so...
And very effectively, I might add as well. So, yep, Energy Drive after defeat onto the Lele is going to do 130, it looks like. Yeah, 130. And so this is the point where Robin needs to start doing the max potions. This is how the Metagross deck wins, just retreat, max potion, do it again. And that's really going to be the dream for him. And I don't believe Robin has played a single max potion yet.
No, he hasn't. He should have all his 4 max potions in his deck still, so...
Yeah, so chances are he should be able to find one, which obviously, if he didn't, that'd be extremely unlucky.
Yeah, and he's also playing Acerola, which...
Did not know that, actually. Yeah. Wow, that's really strong. And he's not played a huge amount of items either, so playing his max potion will not be, a bad thing at all for him.
Yeah.
He does have he has the other blow already as well. That's really good. So he can actually do the whole, retreat as well as Metagross. Do it's not quite a wombo combo, but it's,
That's what we're going to see now.
Yeah. It does mean more items, but again, at this point, it actually doesn't matter because he's doing the strategy which is going to win him this game, essentially. Going to take another quick look through, make sure he's not missing anything, but I assume after this that we can see the max potion in his hand already. So here comes the retreat, discarding all 3 of the energies. Oh, he's hesitant. I wonder what he's thinking about. Is he oh, okay, so
maybe he's going for the GX attack.
That would make sense, of course. That's another important thing to remember about Metagross is that using the attack only stops you from using the attack again turn after. It doesn't actually stop you from using, say, Algorithm. But okay, so he's just gone for the Guzma instead. So that's why he did it. So obviously he wanted the max potion to actually discard the energy and then Guzma.
Yeah.
So he could still do the Geotech systems. And so with that, he actually can do 150 to the Espeon, which is, again, really huge. Actually, that's another 2 prizes and takes away one of Tord's biggest threats.
And it puts a lot of pressure on Tord, as Tord hasn't drawn any prize cards yet. Tord somehow needs to catch up.
Yeah, actually, this is really big. With this, I don't think Tord is necessarily out of the game. I mean, if he was, then he would have conceded at this point as well. But yeah, Robin has taken a really huge lead, and it's really up to Tord to determine just how exactly the best way to approach the counterattack is, especially considering, the Espeon's gone down. There's not even that much damage on the Metagrosses anyway, so devolving stuff doesn't even help that much, even if it was available. And now what does Tord do? He looks like he's going to send up Trash Lunch. There are a big number of items in the discard pile, but don't forget, Metagross is really hard for Garbodor to KO, because
250 HP, that's huge.
And resistance to Psychic makes it even harder. So
Tord needs to do 270 damage. That's a lot.
That is 12 items and a choice band.
Yeah.
That's not happening. Not this turn, at least.
Robin should know how many items he may play, and I guess he won't get his Metagross in 1-hit range.
No, and we can actually see Robin's very kindly spread out his items for us there. Looks like it's 7 right now.
Yeah.
Nowhere near the amount that Tord needs in order to actually do anything with this Trash Launch Garb. Again, if you're told, what's the best response? He needs a float stone as well, because if he doesn't have a float stone, Robin could just do more shenanigans with Geotech system, and that's not the last thing you want to see. And it looks like he missed it. Not even a choice band to put on the Garbodor. So, that was a really poor turn for Tord. And now, if Robin just sees a max potion, I think the game is as good as over.
It's great to see how Robin made the comeback here.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially after that really devastating, disrupting start where he wasn't able to, all his evolutions just got bounced back to the hand before they can even do anything.
Yeah,
but
we talked about the consistency of Robin's deck earlier, and I think this is where we can see that his deck is consistent, even if he has lost a lot of resources. He has lost his rare candies pretty early, needed to kind of waste them. And still, he's in a pretty good board position. Still, he can put a lot of pressure on Tord. So I guess that's a good proof that his deck is consistent.
Yeah, definitely. Here comes the retreat from Robin into the other Metagross. Of course, he does still have access to Geotech system, so that's really good. Although he only has access to 2, which is not so good. And that means that, he won't be able to attack, but he can do algorithm. We're going to search his deck for any 5 cards.
So he might probably go for a few max potions here. Maybe some energies or some supporter cards.
Maybe a rare candy and a third Metagross, just so he has access to 3 Geotech systems per turn, and possibly also a field blower to make sure that if Tord gets another tool, he can still do Geotech system. It's always hard when you can pick any 5 cards. It's like you were saying earlier, it's one of the more complex GX attacks in terms of thinking about what to do. Anyway, play passes back to Tord as we see Tord seems to have a friend behind him. I think that might be Seb Simmons actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. We tried to feature him earlier, but he ID'd, so.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Seb is a really good UK player from Norwich, Team Athena. Shout out to those guys; they're really, really cool. But back to Tord now. And Seb lost interest. He's just walking away. It's got a double colorless, debating where to put it. The Drampa doesn't do a huge amount because, again, it'll be doing not even 180, it's doing 150.
Yeah.
And even then, Tord would need the float stone to retreat to the Garbotox and Garbodor to even use it. And even then, if he has the float stone, he wants to put it onto the Garbotox and Garbodor. So, yeah, like we were saying before, Lydia, really not an ideal situation for Tord as it stands. He's showing what he has.
I think so.
Oh, he's asking if Robin has the game, and he does. That's why. So, yeah, I think just to save time. There we go. They're gonna scoop it all up. Robin will take game 2, and we are going into game 3, ladies and gentlemen, down to the wire.
Crazy,
absolutely. So really with that game, I think Tord knew as well because someone kicked the camera.
But Robin moved it back.
I think Tord moved it back actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it makes sense because it's kind of facing the opposite way, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
Okay. No, this is really good. So I think because Tord knew he wasn't able to N away Robin's hand, he kind of assumed that Robin would have everything he needed for game, and of course he did. So now we're into game 3. Actually, we didn't check the chat before, so let's go check that quickly. Someone's asking, how many blurs Robin uses for. It's just very, very important. Like what the Schulz is.
It's a Schulz list for everything.
Exactly, House Style 24. That's exactly what we were saying earlier. Could not be more correct. Both are 701. Yeah, that's right. Are we guessing a Metapie today? I don't think we'll be able to do one.
No, I'm afraid we won't be able to do that as we were commentating it all day long and we don't have time to look through all the deck lists. Yeah,
if we have time tomorrow, we might be doing one for tomorrow because it's only 32 deck lists. Or if we don't do one visually, we can do one verbally at least, just to say these decks made it in. So Nick can sing something in German. He did it once in the last stream. It's funny you mentioned that because literally before this stream started, I was singing the German national anthem. Just to, like, because like Lydia and I were talking, and I was just saying the reason why I know some like random stuff in other languages is because I just like languages and I like national anthems. So the German one is one I know. I'm not going to start singing it now though, unless
Too bad.
too bad. Unless you guys ask really nicely, but even then Lydia might punch me. So
I might just mute the microphone.
Hide the evidence. Yeah. Anyhow, so looks like the guys are ready. Well, not ready, but they're just almost ready to set up for game 3 and a double mulligan. So both going to shuffle back in.
I think this is the third time that Robin had a mulligan with his starting hand. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You know, I don't know if you get it sometimes, Lydia, but whenever newer players, they ask me. Like, it's happened so many times where both him or her and their opponent mulliganed, and they ask, "Oh, does that mean we both draw a card?" And then, clarify, but no, it's like you just both draw nothing. It's only if one player mulligans, the other one doesn't, where the one player gets to draw more cards.
But actually, it seems logical that both players may draw an extra card.
Yeah, it does. But it's not that way. I mean, God, back in the Wizards of the Coast days, you actually used to draw 2 cards for every mulligan your opponent had, which is ridiculous. Can you imagine that now?
I remember I played a tournament a few years ago, and I had like 6 or 7 mulligans.
What?
And I actually needed, there's a special rule. If you don't have a basic Pokemon with a lot of mulligans, you can have a judge ball.
Oh, yes.
Which means that the judge kind of does like a random receiver. So he's putting up cards until you have a basic Pokemon, and the judge actually needed to do that.
Yeah.
So I fortunately, I started. I were in the first round, and my opponent was sitting there with like 10 extra cards, but I could end him. So.
I bet your opponent was sad about that.
Yeah.
If you get judge balls, does your opponent get a prize penalty? Does a prize gain or not?
I don't think so.
No. I was always wondered about that because I guess it's just a thing where eventually they want to like actually start the game. You just want to stop the mulligans. But yeah, if that's ever happened to any of you guys, let us know. Maybe you can share your judge ball stories. But going back to the game at least, so Todd of course will be going first because he did lose, and he's got again the ideal start with Bridget going to grab probably 2 Trubbishes and not 2 Trubbishes, an Eevee, a Trubbish, and a Drampa. So
he decides to go for Espeon GX now.
This is a little bit cool because what he can do is actually use Espeon EX the other way we know about. Do divide GX, spread around a bit of damage, and then again bring up the evolutions and take knockouts.
We haven't seen Espeon or Eevee in the last game, so maybe it was priced.
Possibly, or maybe he didn't have a chance to go for it. Maybe one of those 2 is likely to be the case.
Yeah, his bench was full pretty early, so that could be as well.
Yeah. Oh, a really strong start from Tordy. He has the Rainbow Energy as well onto the Drampa, and this is really great. Like just getting Bridget plus an energy drop, I think is pretty much the best start you can ask for in this deck because it's just everything you want to set up yourself to do to start putting pressure on.
That's true.
Talk could even go for like a retreat big wheel next turn potentially. Speaking of big wheel, Robin needs to unflip his GX counter.
Oh yeah.
Should I go let them know? I mean, I'm sure they could keep track of it anyway because
I think they would keep track of that anyway.
Yeah. An ugly sycamore, 2 rare candies, a field blower, a metal energy, and a max potion all gone. That's bad for 2 reasons. Not only is that a lot of resources gone, but that's like so many items already.
Yeah.
Like think about it. At one point in the game last time, it had been like way more turns, and Robin only had 7 items. This time it's only 1 turn. He's already discarded 4 items with Sycamore.
That really hurts. And you can also see that in Robin's face. It really hurt.
Yeah. You just you just don't want to do that if you can avoid it, but sometimes you just can't avoid it.
Seems like he used Wonder Tag for an N.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this is really clever. So the reason why he's done this is because he's afraid next turn Tor just has Tool plus Garbatoxin and Lilele will be dead. So he's just wanting to make sure that he has access to the supporter now.
Yeah, he's also preparing for Big Wheel GX, I guess.
Yeah, this is true as well. And as we do see a retreat from on the Beldam into the Tapu Lele and pass.
So let's see. Tord is now active with a Tapu Lele. No, he was active with the Tapu Lele before. He attached a Rainbow Energy, which does 10 damage to the Lele. It's also good because if he retreats the Tapu Lele now, he has a damaged Pokemon on his bench, which increases the damage output of Drampa's Berserk.
Yeah, very, very important to be able to do this.
There comes the big Wheel GX we talked about earlier. We know that Robin has an N in his hand, so
I guess he's just doing it to force Robin to play it. Because maybe instead Robin top decks a Sycamore, he'd rather play that or
a Bridget.
Yeah. It's almost like bait, isn't it? It's just like, come on, end me. You know you want to. I'm gonna force you to play it. Oh, and he does have a Bridget in his hand. Ooh.
Oh, poor Robin.
That's some very interesting choice he faces now. I mean, I think if I were Robin, because I have 2 Beldams there down, I think I'd still go for the N.
Probably.
And yeah, he agrees. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to. You just can't let Tord sit on a 10-card hand. He's just going to set up everything and just do massive damage to you. It's just not going to work out very well.
So that also means Tord kind of wasted his GX attack, which isn't too bad because he's playing Hala.
Yes, Hala.
Yeah, Hala. So actually, Tord wants to use his GX attack earlier, so he gets more cards out of Hala.
Yeah, I think that's the one reason why he doesn't mind the fact that he had to use it early, even if it's a waste. You know, it's still it's helpful ultimately. Although Tord is only playing 1 Hala, so it's only like a one-time thing where it's helpful, but it's fine. Especially considering Robin drew very poorly off that N. No Metangs, no Rare Candies, no Metagrosses, nothing. Not even another Beldam.
But don't judge too early. Last game we also said Robin is not in a good position and he still somehow managed to win the game.
Yeah.
So
that's very true. Also, it's funny, we were just talking about Hala. Look who comes up. Right there, so with the GX attack used on Tord's side, he will be able to use Hala to shuffle his hand into his deck and draw 7 new cards. And really, he just wants to see a double colors at this point, because if he sees that, there it is. He's got the knockout on the Tapu Lele GX.
Oh,
that's really big. So, because of course, as Lydia already mentioned, with and the Toxin Garbodor as well. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. It's exactly what Tord wants to see. So not only shutting off potential Metagrosses, but down goes the Tapu Lele from the Berserk for 180. And Robin sees the Metagross now, but it's too late. Well, I mean, he didn't have Rare Candy anyway, and of course it makes sense that he wouldn't have Rare Candy because 2 of them hit the discard very early on.
So we see another end from Robin. Now he really needs to draw something.
Yeah. He needs Rare Candy Metagross, or this game is as good as over, to be honest. Even Metang is no good because Drampa just KO that too.
That's true.
Yeah, it is like you say. We don't want to discount Robin's chances too early, but I think even like compared to the last game, Robin just had so much more. Even when he was on the back foot, he had things to fall back on. This time, all he has is 2 Beldam. It's just not going to be enough.
Last time he had an Alolan Vulpix, for example, so that's at least something you can work with, something that can get you some Pokemon, that can also get you some Lele for draw supporters. So, yeah. And to me, actually, what this shows is again equally clever from Tord, because he knew that Robin had the N in hand. He knew that he had to big wheel again for the Hala as well, but just mainly to force Robin to actually use that N, because then he knows that it's less likely that Robin will be able to set up something, and it paid off. Definitely. And those are the small plays that really make a good player.
Yeah. Because any other player, they might have thought, he's got the N anyway, no point big wheeling, right? Because it's just going to be a waste. But Tord, sort of thinking about it, just realised, hold on, no, this is important. I need to, even though he has the N, I need to actually force him to use it, because otherwise he might end up using something better. And Robin might have even been thinking, I might actually get this N just to scare him almost away from using it, but it didn't work.
Yeah, definitely.
And now it looks like Robin is opting to go for a Metang. I did see he put Alolan Vulpix to the bottom of his deck to maybe deciding to go for that, but it looks like he has opted to go for the Metang instead. And I'm guessing he'll probably evolve the bench one because he knows that the active one is going to get knocked out. So, this works too. Yeah. So yeah, retreating first and then evolving the bench one. This is better because then
he's not losing all his energy.
Yeah, and then maybe he can attack next turn by getting one Metagross, or evolving that Metang, then attaching and doing Geotech System. But I mean, he has the Guzma again.
Oh.
Robin not able to catch a single break as Todd plays the Guzma, switches into the Garbodor, brings up the Metang on the bench, and he can just retreat again into the Drampa, do Berserk and knock it out. And I don't know about you, Lydia, but I really don't see a future for Robin in this game.
I think this is game.
Do you see a Psychic go onto the Espeon as well, just in case? It's not even that necessary, but yeah, Berserk, down goes the Metang, up comes the Beldum. What does Robin draw? It's a rare candy. Oh, actually, that's pretty good. It buys him some time. He just takes 30 damage from the Potown, a Sycamore, drawing some stuff. But you can't even attack this turn because, of course, the Metang with the energy on it was the one that got KO'd, so he can attach once Geotech System, and then
he can use
algorithm again. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah, I'm totally realizing now that he said reflect the GX counter. What does Robin do? I mean, obviously he algorithms, but it's like, does it even help? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I'm taking one. So I'm guessing at this point you probably
you need some Pokemon.
It's like you can grab Bridget, but then that's probably too slow because then you're playing it another supporter. He's probably just grabbing the Beldums directly. That's what he's doing. Yeah. Maybe another energy if he's missing one.
Maybe some draw support.
Maybe a get out of jail free card from Monopoly. Yeah. Like that's the kind of thing he needs to get. He needs in order to help here. Maybe the wild draw 4 from Uno. Maybe you can search for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe. Oh no, I got it. You can search for the 5 pieces of Exodia. Whoa. There we go. That's what he can do. That's how he can win this game. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a very long day. I'm just again trying to sort of muck around a little bit, but have a little bit of fun because I think we all know how this game is going to end at this point. In fact, hold on. How much damage does it have? Okay, it only has 30.
Yeah, from Potown.
Yeah, I was thinking, could Tord win this turn by just using a Miraculous Shine? And yeah, he can't. His bench is full, and even if he did, he would devolve it, but it wouldn't get KO'd. But Tord can still just do 180 with this Drampa, and that's still just enough pressure to sort of almost win the game from then.
Because even if Robin has a max potion, he can't recycle his energies fast enough.
No, exactly. It's just going to be bad news all around, basically.
It's just one more turn that Robin has, but I don't really see Robin winning now.
No.
Oh, we see an N from Tord, which means Robin is losing his 5 cards.
Yeah, so it doesn't even matter what you searched. We didn't even get to see it. Robin takes his draw. What is it? It's an Ultra Ball. Yeah. He's got a Bridget. He can play it. Or, get some more Beldums down, but that doesn't really help him.
But he's doing it anyway.
Yeah. Again, it's like you said before, there's literally no point scooping because maybe he can play out to a tie, or maybe Tord doesn't have the win straight away.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much the only thing Robin can do now is just play it to his lie. There is only sort of 3 minutes and 30 left on the clock.
And Metagross is quite bulky. I mean.
He's actually just giving up. So. There we go, guys. Tord is going to take that game and the match to finish day 2, guaranteed first seed, isn't he? 8-0-1. Yeah. He's going to be the highest one. Undefeated. God, we were saying earlier about what amazing player Tord is, and can you almost no one else in Europe posts results this consistent, apart from maybe Philip Schulz last year. Tord showing that his season last year was not a fluke, still performing extraordinarily well at the big tournaments here now. And we're going to get him in for another interview just to end off the day because we've got time because there's no more rounds after this. And so we're going to just get Tord in quickly. But until then, don't go away.